Hi everyone and welcome back. We are now going to cover Chapter 12, which is Internet and IT Applications in Selling and Sales Management. Information technology, or IT, is the Internet, the electronic commerce, e-commerce, wireless and mobile technologies that each have had a major impact on sales force productivity and management. Internet and IT has definitely changed the way the sales job is now being done. The book talks about a sales practitioner's perspective. It's interesting. When I started in Yellow Pages, I happen to remember when we got our first Mac computer and we would take turns using the computer and sending out our letters. It was in our computer room. So that was back in the very early 90s. Sort of is interesting. Bill Clinton was the first president that sent out an email. But anyway, like I said, interesting that we had one computer in the office. Was a short time after that, though, that everybody got computers, but it definitely has changed the way people are doing their sales jobs. With the wireless and mobile revolution, with field sales, people out in the field, they're going to have their product inventory and their pricing systems. They'll have access to customers' account information and real-time ordering. They'll have their own mobile offices. That was another thing with Yellow Pages. Back in the day, it used to be that they would go from town to town if they went to Rapid City or Watertown or Vermilion, and they would actually rent a room in a motel and set up an office with fax machines and copiers and hard phone lines. But obviously that's all changed. Anybody that's on the road basically anymore can set up their own mobile office with email, having their own personal information, access to their corporate internets and human resources systems on it. And then obviously there is fleet management, which is going to be dispatch applications for courier companies, call scheduling for taxis and vans, location tracking applications, GPS. That's changed a lot of jobs also. Companies going to be able to keep a little better track of where you're at or where their large fleets of trucks are, and routing and mapping systems. And then for field service, for those including work orders in service and repair industry, right there with a field service, they'd have access to customer records and information while on sites. They also are going to have financial service applications such as insurance claims that they can handle and access. They can also have access to national databases while they're out on the road. I believe it was Allison that had mentioned earlier about the attention span, and interesting fact on there that back in 2001, people could stay focused for 12 minutes. Now marketeers only have 8 seconds to grab an audience attention, and as Allison put into her comment, that the average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. So really puts things into perspective that you need to get your information out there quickly and grab the customer's attention. So talking a little bit further about on the field sales, the salesperson obviously has a laptop that can be synchronized with the head office. The salesperson's going to be using a smartphone. I originally started out with the old bag phone that you had in your car. So just interesting how quickly everything has changed so fast over the last few years. Most salespeople will use an iPad or an iPad mini or iPad Air that they're able to transmit their sales information and to receive reports from the head office on it. Talked about the mobile office where salespeople are just able to set up their own office in a motel room or in a car. Interesting with BlackBerry, and then I teach a branding and promotions class, and we always look at companies that are maybe doomed to fail shortly, and BlackBerry has been on that list. They are trying to make a comeback on it, but they were very popular back in the day because they were considered a secure unit, and presidents always used the BlackBerry for their security, but they sort of dropped the ball as far as moving ahead on technology and got overtaken by the smartphone, and like I said, they're trying to make a comeback on it now. E-commerce and B2B trading. E-commerce is going to refer to any type of sales or trading activity that's carried out over an electronic network. And with smartphone shopping, talked about it a little bit also, but a lot of people are using their smartphones to order and make purchases. You need to take special attention on that people using a smartphone, you need to make sure that your website or your application is mobile friendly, and also that the smartphone may easily have a smaller screen, so it's going to be important that you have fewer words and make it easy to read. For the 4 levels of e-commerce, they can take place in 4 levels. The level 1 would be publishing. Basically what that is going to include is going to be involving annual reports, press releases, information on products and services, recruitment opportunities, and advertising. There is no interaction in publishing between the seller and the potential buyer. Level 2 is interacting. That level is going to refer to interactive engagement with the user on the internet. It can provide technical support services, including email to online technical representatives, often to the consumer, and the company representative can engage in communication in the chat room environment. If you've ever contacted Apple support, they will work with you that way, and then if it gets more technical, they'll actually call you in person. I don't know if anyone's ever dealt with Apple, but actually they are quite helpful and friendly. Level 3 would be the transaction. That is the level of e-commerce that's going to allow the goods and services to be bought and sold over the internet on it. And then level 4 is going to be the highest level of e-commerce, which is the integration of the computer system and processes of traders to create a strong formalized relationship. That can involve business-to-business extranet, which is an electronic network linking to their trading partners, sort of like we talked about with our key account management. It's going to allow partners to exchange information that's related to ordering, delivering, and invoicing in a secure environment. Amazon and eBay are good examples of a level 3 transaction. eBay allows you to set up your account, or Amazon does also. You can design your web store quite quickly with a template. You can upload your product inventory. You can set up your PayPal account on it and start selling with your web store. Customer Relationship Management, or CRM, is the term that's used for the methodologies, the technologies, and e-commerce capabilities used by firms to manage customer relationships. Talked about CRM, Customer Relationship Management, quite a bit here also throughout the chapter. The QR, or the quick response codes, is another medium that you could reach potential customers on. Hasn't maybe taken off quite as popular as I think they maybe thought it was going to be, but it's the pixelated black and white squares in an advertisement that's going to hold a bank of information. The user uses their smartphone, and it's a matter of downloading a free app where they're able to point to the camera at the printed code and activate more information. Salesforce automation, or SFA, also is the automation of the Salesforce. It is going to allow to free up the salesperson from their routine office administrative tasks, allowing them to spend more time with their customers. It's going to provide for better customer service because the salesperson has immediate access to information such as the stock levels or their quotations. It's going to capture information that will allow management to measure and monitor sales performance. They're going to be able to help create and manage sales opportunities so that a greater proportion is converted into sales, and they can get up-to-date information in almost real time. The first generation, and I remember when one of our salespersons was kind of the techie of the office, and he got promoted to being the SFA tech support in our Dux Yellow Pages office. But the generation 1, it included the personal information and contact management on it. It included spreadsheets and word processing, like I mentioned, starting out with our first Mac computer in the office. Generation 2 was basically some new networked versions of the first connecting the contact database and using the personal productivity tools of the Salesforce that they're able to contact the corporate network. Interesting when the book talks about plugging the laptop into a phone line typically at night so the information could be downloaded, and we definitely did that. Salespeople were able to retain their interest in time and contact management. So anyway, basically these tools gave them little, if any, additional advantages over the first generation, but they were a little bit smaller and much more portable and lighter than their predecessors. And then the Generation 3 is the latest generation in the SFA tools, and it gives lead management on it, ability for sales to receive leads from marketing and other departments, opportunity management, which allows them to organize all information around a sales opportunity, so they're able to get a complete view of the sales cycle, able to coordinate schedules and resources and bring the sales process to a closure. It's great for account management. It gives them the opportunity to track successfully closed opportunities. Also, it allows to track business contacts through the company, subsidiaries, branch offices, and departments. It can include all interactions between a company and a business customer. It also is going to be the area of relationship monitoring and management, which is key for the key account managements. It's going to allow the sales force to produce a proposal right on the spot, can customize it, include accurate product configurations and proposals. With us, we always came out with maybe 3 different proposals, a good, better, best, options for the customers with abilities to buy. And then it also is going to include the win-loss reporting, giving the ability to evaluate any wins, losses, and returns on investment objectives. So it is helpful for people and their companies to learn how to improve their sales and their customer support processes. Cookies, as the book talked about, are kind of going away on it. There are some problems with cookies as far as a lot of people. The privacy concerns have increased significantly on it. Also, one problem is that it's difficult to actually measure cookies, especially when people might first be on their cell phone and then smartphone and they move to a laptop. Also might be doing something on a tablet, so it's difficult to track that way. I'm certain that you've all been involved in webinars, so it's a good way to get information out, and you can set up a webinar explaining some technical information to your customers or doing presentations as far as new products or updates on products and services. The internet also has been very helpful as far as electronic point of sale and electronic funds transfer at point of sale. I'm sure we all know about that when you've made a payment and it goes automatically through to your bank. So lots of changes. Definitely has changed the way of the salesperson. They need to be keeping in touch with the technology and always be checking their email and their accounts and so that they are on top of things with their customer sales. So overall, something that never has changed is that you do need to be selling through trust. So trust, the relationship commitment, and customer satisfaction definitely are important areas that have not made a change on it. So exactly. The internet and IT also has made a lot of changes as far as for recruitment and selection of salespeople. It includes specific software packages so that they can assess the suitability of a sales personnel on it. The packages can assess candidates based on their key attributes as a salesperson. possibly including their intellect, their motivation, some of their possible contacts, which can be important, like we've talked about in the earlier chapters as far as car sales or insurance sales for people that you know. It can also provide a suite of skill areas that can be selected upon according to the nature of the sales job, and also could include prospecting. Training, obviously, and I'm sure that probably several of you are familiar with computer-based training packages, so any training or update can be done right over the computer or through the intranet, and that's how Sanford does as far as updating their annual training processes that need to be done. And then obviously computers have been very helpful for sales forecasting purposes for many years on it. Social media definitely has made a huge impact. When you're calling on new buyers, Facebook and LinkedIn can be used to research people that you've not called before, so it's definitely a great way to get in and find out about the person. You're much more prepared when you go to meet with them, and much easier to build some rapport on it. Also, building trust. If the person is in LinkedIn, you can check out their experience and have more of a trust issue. Definitely, especially if you're looking for different jobs, whatever, it's definitely great to have a LinkedIn account for you. It's a good way to have your information out there. It's basically is a professional Facebook page. So if you do not have a LinkedIn account, I would recommend that you get one set up. Personal relationships through social media such as Facebook. The buyers and sellers also can develop some personal relationships that cannot go without saying, and obviously I know you've heard it before, but whatever you've posted on Facebook basically cannot go away, and it's so important that you keep things on a professional level and do not be posting things that maybe are not appropriate. So several employers take a look at Facebook and definitely take a look at what you're doing. So it's very important to be staying professional at all times. And then event notification. Facebook is a great way that you're able to set up or to pin a salesperson when it's a customer's birthday on it, or like IBM salespeople using Twitter to notify customers of their company events and interesting news. So it's a great way to get the word out there quickly. So lots have changed over the last few years with internet, and IT applications definitely has changed. The sales management can be a bit of a curve for the older salespeople, but it definitely is a good way to save lots of time and be effective and trying to eliminate some of the administrative duties and spend more time in front of the customer. Thanks for listening. Our next PowerPoint will be on Chapter 13 for recruitment and selection. Thank you.